Well, it was a certainty in my eyes, even from the outset, that Dylan and Denae would end up tying the knot. And this goes way back to the day that I first planted the seed all those years ago. It all started on a Sunday evening. The Wolfpack were sat out on a table at the front of the Wright Street Hotel having a beer. Denae just so happened to be walking past that evening with a group of friends. What happened next was the catalyst in the outcome of today. Don't ask me how I knew, because I was the last person to know anything at school. But word on the street at the time was that Denae had just broken up with her high school sweetheart and was once again on the market. Dylan, the only member of the Wolfpack without a companion at the time, was in his prime and very much in the market. I leant over to Dill to share my thoughts and in essence gave him the nod. So in the months that followed, we had arranged a night on the town which began with a few beers with Andrew McLeod at Electra House. And it was on the grimy dance floor of Fat Controller nightclub in the dimmest of light that DJ and Dill first exchanged a kiss and eventually their numbers.
I can definitely say I was surprised the first time Denae told me about her new duet with Dylan. He was the quiet, popular, literal male model who we hadn't really ever spoken a word to in high school. We were the kids that sat at the back of maths class trying to appear cool, whereas Dylan was actually cool.
So here was Denae, a strapping young lass, very intelligent, well regarded and highly respected by her peers. A perfect match for Dylan. However, there was one hesitation in my mind. Felt like a lump in my throat. Denae had been a Music 2 student in Marrickville High School's specialist music program, Nerd Alert. So to Denae's credit, it hadn't taken long for her to make an impression on the Wolfpack, even despite her reputation as a Music 2. And after a few months of Dylan and Denae dating, to quote the great Zach Galifianakis in the 2009 movie The Hangover scene 7, so I thought to myself, wait a second, could it be? And I knew for sure that we had just added one more person to our Wolfpack.
I knew from our very first day to the Belgian Beer Cafe that this was the beginning of something special. Before I started dating Dylan, Mum would say to me when I went out into the early hours of the morning, I don't know what sort of man you think you're going to meet at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, Mum, here he is.
The first time I remember speaking to Denae was when we bumped into each other at a food court in town. Denae was working at a pharmacy and was on her break at the time. Straight away I thought, hell, Denae's hitting on me. Until I remembered her reputation for being really, really friendly. after a few months and Denae's name having come up in a conversation with some of the groomsmen, I got it in my mind that I would ask Denae out. Now, I didn't want to take the easy route of slipping into her DMs or asking someone for her number, so I started to stake out the only place I knew she'd be, the food court, near her job at the pharmacy. I'd walk the extra couple hundred metres down the mall to get lunch in hopes that I'd just happen to bump into Denae. For months, my decision of where to get lunch was fixed. I'd casually scan the pharmacy employees, always disappointed to see that she wasn't there. After dating for a while, I found out Denae only worked weekends, so there was never actually any chance of seeing her there. So many average sushi rolls and subpar burritos, all for nothing. But it wasn't for nothing, because each time I walked in there, I had something in mind to say. So when I eventually bumped into Denae in town late that Saturday night, I was ready with some of my best work. Building a loving, fun-filled household with you has been one of my biggest accomplishments. And now we can keep building on that as a married couple. So cheers to us.